Girl, you the man, and she love me when I'm in it, and she never be pretending, nothing is real. She gon' tell you what she bought it, cause she know you can't afford it. Know you can get it, looking exquisite, no competition, stay on the pivot, hope be watching it.
Hi, and I am so excited for you guys to meet my next guest. This is Barrie Livingstone, who is all the buzz. We're getting ready to get some super exclusive eSpot information that's going on with him right now. So, Barrie, please tell our listeners and viewers what you have going on and a little bit about yourself. Thank you so much
Well,
for being
first of all, it is so nice to be here because I've been listening here and there, and it's so nice to actually know that I'll be listening to myself one day on your show. So thank you very much for having me. I am actually in the middle. I'm based in Los Angeles and have been for the past 10 years, and we are opening a shop in Cabo San Lucas, an area called San Jose del Cabo, and it's the one and only hotel in Palmilla is an exclusive resort right on the sea, and we have found the most incredible space. It's about 1,800 square feet, and it will be called the House of Barrie, and it's going to be celebrating all things good. La Dolce Vita is the tagline, so it's a sweet life.
Oh, I love it. So now we have more than one reason to go down to Cabo. We have to go to House of Berry. So what can people expect from there? Because a lot of times people go there for like a vacation. Is this going to be to style their resort, or is it something to go take back home as
Well,
well?
what's happening is because everyone can live in different places now, and COVID has even hyper emphasized that. So it's only 2 hours from LA, 2.5 hours from Dallas, and I think it's 3.5 hours from Miami. So people are buying second homes there, and people are moving there. So it's become this. It's always been a safe haven for Americans. Feel safe there, and it's all the way down. It's at the very bottom. So it's just warm. It's dry. It's beautiful, and there's yachts, and there's it's the rich and famous. It's really, really a fabulous place to be. We just are so excited to be there.
So it sounds like some champagne wishes will be made there for
There will be
sure.
champagne wishes and caviar dreams all over that furniture, darling. There certainly will be. And so I'm curating everything now because we've been there several times. And what the reason why we're opening it is because three people in 1 week said, "Why aren't you opening a design store?" And I'm like, it was the furthest thing from my mind, honestly. And then I kept realizing the crap that was there and the immense wealth.
Let
I
me guess,
mean,
a lot of wicker and shiplap.
well, no, there isn't wicker actually, and some of the nicer rattan now is something that they don't get in Mexico because they can't make it there. It's from the Philippines or from the east side of the world. So we're I'm just trying to do a tropical minimalism, but with very bright color as well. So I'm really thrilled that we're going to be the only Missoni home boutique in the entire Baja Peninsula. So I've just went through and we're going to do all the towels, bathrobes, the sexy, gorgeous bathrobes, pillows, and I'm doing a big sectional in Missoni fabric. It's going to be the only $20,000 sofa, but you know something? It's going to be gag and it's going to bring people in.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. When you make them gag, it's all worth it, right?
Exactly. That's why Gaga Ooh La La. That's
Love
why.
it. So Lady Gaga will be all over there. No, I'm just kidding. So I have more questions for you. When you here at High Point Market and you're looking for different things, what stands out to you? What are you looking for here to either to supply your store or for clients as well?
Well, it's very difficult because it's a hodgepodge because they've not really arranged it by style, and then so many of the companies have three or four different distinct styles within them. So it takes a trained eye, honestly. I mean, you've been doing it for a while. This is now the first time I came to High Point was 1994, so it's my 17th year, and I used to come twice a year for 8 years while I had my shop in Miami Beach. So you kind of evolve and you hone your senses. But what I'm realizing now is that if I don't make a list and make that hold for confirmation order right now, I won't remember it because we call it market brain. And by the end of the first day, after 16 floors in 27 different buildings, you really can't remember what you've got.
Everything looks great.
I mean,
I'll
it's just
take
like,
one of
yeah,
everything.
exactly six of that and four of that. But and then what happens is I just don't want to have any surprises when it comes in. Like, oh my God, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? So I'm really taking the time to curate everything, and then when I get home next week, I'm gonna spend hours just really dreaming like how this retail mix will look because you're almost on an island because it's so far away from everything and nothing can come from the mainland of Mexico. You have to either take a boat across to La Paz or you have to fly in. So it's kind of this isolated area where there's this huge pocket of wealth from all over, and they just want luxury and they want nice things in their houses. Many people are using designers from America that are bringing things down, but I'm noticing that they're not getting the Baja lifestyle. Like, I don't want to see things that I would see in Atlanta or see things in Dallas that would be there, because you're in Mexico. It should feel that vibe. It should have that vibe, which is, it's kind of weird because it's not tropical, because it's desert. So, but it's not American Southwest. So it's different than doing Joshua Tree or different than Palm Springs. There's not that kitsch element to it. It's a very sophisticated palette of woods, stones. Everyone has told me that they want to use only Sunbrella only, because everything gets stained, because you're literally in the pool. You're in shorts all the time. So it's very much
So no leather couches.
no, you can't. Although people, I had someone there who bought a restoration leather, hardware leather, like an $11,000 sofa, and they can't sit on it because you're sticking to it. So everything. I think my years as being a hospitality designer are really coming into play here, because with hotels, it's all about longevity and maintenance. So I really feel like I'm almost being design mom, like anything that's going to be on the floor, and I can't believe I'm saying I'm becoming design mom, but anything that's going to be on the floor is going to have to pass the test of, I don't want customers coming back in, a month after having something saying, oh my God, it's stained, I can't get it out. So a lot is going to be in Sunbrella, or just really durable, maybe low pile chenilles, or like this, like, heavy cloth that's easy to clean.
That sounds great. So, for people who are possibly coming for their first time, and you mentioned market brain, are there any other tips that you would give them on how to really be like a veteran here? Because there is so many things. It can be a little overwhelming, and thankfully, I guess some ways with COVID being a thing, it's not as full, but it's still a lot to it's really easy to overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, I think the first time you come to High Point, it's definitely, I would stay in the big buildings initially, because then you get lost if you think about all the other buildings everywhere. So fortunately, IHFC, the building that we're in now on the fifth floor in Zuo, thank you, Lewis, for having us. Fortunately, there's a lot represented here. I mean, it goes from Bernhardt and Century, which you would think are very traditional, but they're getting more hip and more with it. And then we're here in Zuo, which is got the finger on the pulse of design, right? So I think that if you stay, my advice is stay in the bigger buildings, because then it doesn't become as daunting, And make sure you have a good breakfast and don't drink too much at night.
Yeah, watch out for all the free cocktails. It can hit you really quickly because you're not seeing outside. It's like Vegas in a way. Once
It is
you're
very
in.
Vegas-y. It really is. Yeah, without the smoke. Thank God they don't allow smoking in here.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Thank you, North Carolina, for that. Now, so like looking forward into the future, everybody is changing their homes because they've been home for over a year for the most part, and so many people are now also working remotely. And like you mentioned, they can work remotely from anywhere, even the joys of Cabo San Lucas. So, what advice do you give as far as what looking forward to future types of furniture or types of looks that will really
I'm really telling people here, because it's all about ergonomics in the home, and you really, just because you can sit on the sofa and kind of like slouch and be on you really shouldn't be working like that. It's very bad for your back, and it's bad for posture. So always, 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 you have to always sit at a dining table, and always, if you're in a bar stool, make sure it's the right height, so you're not bending over, because that's like a big situation. So I'm one of the things I'm finding here, they have here at Zuo, they have two fabulous really cool office chairs that don't look officey. So, and I'm preaching to people.
Their new game chairs?
Yes, like gorgeous.
Oh my God, that's perfect for podcasting.
The game
They hold your
changers are the game chairs are a game changer.
I love your puns.
No, but I'm saying at least there should be a place in the house where you have a chair on casters that's really comfy to sit in, because we all work at different moments of the day. But if you're going to sit down for an hour and have a Zoom call, or you're going to be, you really need to posture yourself in the right position so that you don't end up like with a bad back or something. Yeah, hunched over. So I'm really all about
or killing your bed.
Yeah.
Those that are doing it in their beds.
Well, you shouldn't be unless you're Elizabeth Taylor and everything's like spread out.
Or Mariah Carey. I always see her like lounging. I'm like, to have that life.
Well, or you have a closet like Mariah Carey's. That would be nice. We like that.
One to dream.
Yes. So what else do we have to say?
Tell everybody what you have coming up, because you have all this new exciting things besides the store. You also have some
Besides the store, well, so I'm going to be on this show called Staycation, which I believe is on CBS in August or September. I own a couple of properties in Joshua Tree in California, and one of them has like 5 acres, and they found me on Airbnb. So it's all about staycation in the desert. So they've chosen like 5 different Airbnbs. So I'm filming that on June the 10th, which will be out in August or September. And then there's something we have a show. It's a design travel log. So it's me traveling around the world, and it's all about how I see design in different places of the world. And that should be coming out. We're negotiating right now, but that should be out next year.
Oh,
for
so you
sure,
haven't done
yeah.
the travels yet, but
Well, no, we did. We filmed the first one. We actually filmed the first show in
what were some of
Iceland.
the favorite places? Oh,
Well, we
Iceland!
went to
I
Iceland.
love
We went to
Iceland.
Iceland. We went to Reykjavik last September, and we were actually all set to meet with Netflix in March of last year, and it was right when COVID came out, so we couldn't go back to them until now basically. So it got shelved, but it's a design travel log, and it's basically I've always been obsessed with how we live in our places, different dwellings throughout the world, because human beings have the same characteristics, and whether you're in Iceland or whether you're on the plains of Africa or whether you're in South Beach or in Dallas, there are certain things that we want to have, and we're obsessed with decorating our nest. That's what we are. We're obsessed with like grabbing things that we like and surrounding ourselves with things, which fortunately for us designers is good, right?
So tell me, what do you think as far as going forward? I mean, just from seeing all the different things that you've been doing, what kind of design show would you like to do next? If you could design it all yourself, start from scratch, because you mentioned three that you're already doing, and they're so different that I'm
Well, the
curious
one-
what would be your
I think
ideal?
the one that I'm doing now, I like the idea of just analyzing how people are as human beings and what our needs are in different parts of the world. Because there are things that you would do, and well, I'm very aware of this because living in Miami most of my life, most of my clients were in New York. So
Oh, wait, you're from Miami? I would have never
no,
guessed that
I'm
by your
Eng-
accent.
I'm
No.
English, but we moved to Miami as a child. I was dragged, ripping and screaming out of jolly old England to a swamp, a partially drained swamp in Fort Lauderdale. But that's a different story. So, but anyway, so what I realized is that all my clients in Florida, everybody wanted to do something different because they weren't in New York. And when I moved to LA, I've been in LA like 10 years now, 11 years, but people in Los Angeles really live in Los Angeles. It's really their main home. So it's so nice to be able to design main residences because you really get involved with people a lot more. Whereas when I'm doing a house in Palm Springs or in a secondary area, wherever the second area is, it's also a fantasy because you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do at home. And you're doing something that is unique to that area. Because in Palm Springs, if you can't do kitsch, if you can't do something fun in Palm Springs, then, even if you want to do strict mid-century modern, you should have, like, you've got to do pale yellow and, fuchsia, like things that you can't do
Very
normally.
60s bright, bold
Yeah.
colors.
I mean, if you can't do that in Palm Springs or Miami Beach, then it's kind of sad. Because, because it kind of look weird if you're in, a different part of the world or in Seattle, like with, fuchsia walls. Not that you can't do that, but it could look a bit odd, yeah.
One way to stay on out, for sure. So, what advice do you have for next year or just looking forward? What's your future advice, your lasting thoughts?
My lasting thoughts are always less is more. As I'm packing up my life and moving to Mexico, I'm going to be there and back between Cabo San Lucas and LA. And you realize how much stuff you have, you know what I mean? And I think that it's very important to choose your furniture pieces wisely. Like I have certain pieces that I've had with me for years, and even though it's nice to get things, to get things of value or on a bargain, things change over time and our tastes change over time. So, but there's certain pieces you'll find that I've always like my go-to pieces. I don't know. I have. It's really my artwork and my accessories. It's things that I've found while I'm traveling. Those are the things that mean the most to me. Whereas it's funny, like the upholstery comes and goes. It's like upholstery schmelstery. Like, to me that those are things that are the accessories of the apartment. Like normally people think of accessories as a vase or a book or certain things that you would have around the house. But to me the accessories really are the bigger furniture pieces because those are the ones that I find people tire of a lot. And if you think about styles coming and going every 5 to 7 years, the sofa is the biggest thing in the room, and it can be it can be very outdated. It can become very outdated. So, but to me, the right accessories will always be the right accessories. Should be things that you've really adore, that you've chosen to be with you, and they can they can come along with your trip on your life with you.
That's great. So, where can everyone follow you and keep up with you and find all of these wonderful things that you're doing,
So
especially your
you
store?
can definitely go to barrielivingstone.com or House of Barrie. So House of Barrie will be the shop, and we're set up on Shopify. So it's House of Barrie, and it's Barrie. I'm sure you'll put it on the screen. But it's my way of just showing all the things that I love and that I would want to have around me on the beach in Mexico. So it's quite exciting.
Thank you so much for being my guest
You're
today.
very
This was
welcome.
so
It was
much
a
great
pleasure.
information. I love when I get an East Spot exclusive. So, again, this is Barrie Livingstone, and we're here at High Point Market. Come on down and join us.
Come on down, get you some good design.